Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. This is Joe Shute with our special guest, Corey Moran. Corey, good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
We are very excited to have you here today. I'm looking for an educational webinar here today, especially since I'm one of the people that don't understand what you understand. So thanks for being here.
No problem, my friend.
All right. So here's good morning, everyone. If you could just go ahead in the chat box, somebody, and just say good morning so we see that you're here. Yep, there we go. We see people saying hello in here. This is great. Let's get started right away. We have limited time, so I want to make sure Corey has the floor here to help everybody out. Let me just kind of reiterate what we talked about in the email that went out, and that is that, I come from the old school. I learned in the last 22 years, and especially those first 20 years, it was all about phone calling and communication, and I still believe in that, obviously. And I never attached myself to social media, and I think it's extremely important that most of the people that I talk to today in my generation are not equipped. They don't understand. They don't know how to operate Facebook, and fortunately, Kula Brands is teaching. It's one of the few companies that I know that's offering the free training for social media, and Corey is heading that, and that's why we have him on today, because he's a great leader in the industry, and especially here at Kula Brands. And so we're excited to have that, but I want to just go over a few things. My background, as I said, took me through the verbal communication platform, and I learned many years ago that it was important to invite other people to your opportunity. But the key to it was when you got their attention, when they wanted to look at what you were doing, you had to open your mouth. You had to talk to them. And most people I know were afraid to pick up the phone and talk because they really didn't know what to say, Corey. They were just, people would ask them questions. They would get lost. They would fumble. Somebody would ask them, how much money do you make? And is this real? Is it a pyramid? It sounds like this. And before you know it, the entire conversation was turned around, and the prospect was interviewing you, interviewing the affiliate, and, which scared them. And eventually they tripped them up, and they said no. And of course, what happens is the affiliate, after a few of those types of rejection and phone calls, they're done. They don't want to make the phone call again. And I'll give you a little story about how I met Peter. And if it wasn't for my training over the 20 years here in communication, I would never have met Peter Gantner. And what happened was I was at a convention where he was the #1 income earner. He was on stage giving this speech. And for those of you who are new here, Peter Gantner is the founder and the genius behind Kula Brands. And I've known him now for probably 12 years. So back in that day, when I first saw him on stage, I knew his brother very briefly, and we talked about communication in the lobby a few times. But there was a little mix-up at the end of the sessions about my group and another group that were taking a place in the lobby, and we were meeting all these webinars and seminars. And this one group tried to move my group out of the way, and I got a little annoyed at it. The other group had said, listen, you need to get out of here. I didn't realize that Peter Gantner was standing there. He was the guest of the other group. They had invited him over to talk after the webinar. And Peter didn't say a word. I kind of noticed he was the guy on the stage, and he walked. That whole group walked away. I was a little aggressive about it, and because they had been aggressive with my group when I wasn't standing there. So anyway, they walked away. When I realized who it was and how to talk with David, I said, I think I just chased your brother, and I really, need to talk to him. And so I saw him going up and down an elevator, I was going down, and I grabbed him. I immediately turned around and went after him. I said, hey, excuse me, I'm Joe Shute, Peter, and I really wanted to have a talk. And you know what, Corey? He didn't hardly remember the incident. He didn't hold me accountable to that. He didn't really know what went on. He never really asked the other group or me. But the truth is, had I not turned around and wanted to communicate with him, I wouldn't be here today. And so you have to be able to understand, from that point on, I went on for the next 10 years and communicated with him every couple of months. Other companies looking at this, various companies we both were in, and we became friends after all those years. Had I not took the initiative, I could have walked away from that. I could have said, this is not right. This group did that, and he was standing. I could have made all those excuses, except I needed to speak to the top guy. I needed to apologize for being a little aggressive. And fortunately, he didn't hold that against me. And today, a lot of us are here at Cooler Brands because of communication. So it's important to remember that communication is the key to this business. And that's why Corey's here today, because social media is a communication outlet. It's important. I personally I don't live in that world at the moment, a little bit, but that's why I'm here to learn. What I wanted to do is I wanted to bring somebody on, Corey, before you begin here. And I want to say good morning to Julie Casillas, who is she's in Cooler Brands. I met her a week ago from the Breakfast Club, and we had some long talks on the phone. And she's not in my group. As a matter of fact, Corey, she's in your group. And we had some talks. And she recently you hear us talk about a communication class. And I wanted everybody to hear how important communication was to her and is to her, and what her thinking is on this class. And so I think it's important we hear that. So Julie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Joseph.
Okay, Corey, can you hear Julie?
I can hear Julie.
Okay, good. So Julie's on the phone with us, and I wanted to make sure that she shared her story. So good morning, Julie, and welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
Julie, can you just give us your background a little bit? Tell us a little bit about your background, and then your experience this week with the communication class and what it's done for you.
Of course. Again, like Joseph says, my name is Julie Casillas. I currently live with my husband in Simi Valley, California. I worked for Bank of America for 40 years and left them about a year ago. And during my time with Bank of America was in management. So we had to take a lot of sales classes. And of all the sales classes I attended, none of them come close to what I have learned in 2 classes that I've taken this past week. These classes, to me, are a must for individuals that are in networking marketing industry. It would help all of us manage a successful business from home. And to me, it was just unbelievable what I learned in just these 2 classes. Amazing. And I would highly, highly recommend that anyone that is really interested in having a successful business from home to take them. They're not that long, and it would really help you tremendously on the communication that we need, how to communicate correctly with our prospects and individuals that we need to talk to regarding Cooler Brands.
So you spent 40 years at Bank of America and went through all those classes as well. So prior to taking the class, did you have any hesitancy or any nervousness about making calls in our industry?
Even with the classes I took for Bank of America, I still did not feel prepared that if I had a prospect and I needed to call them back for a follow-up, I still needed to try to get my words out straight and write them out, and I'm still nervous about it. And now with some of these steps that I've learned in this class, I can outline them, and basically I can memorize them and be ready to go. And I wouldn't feel so, I wouldn't have the anxiety because now I'm prepared. I would have what I need in front of me to be able to do this.
Okay, great. Well, I wanted everybody to hear that because the key to our business really is, when you look at the basics, is communication and being prepared and not being afraid and being able to answer questions now effectively, and generally speaking, knowing who you are when you make that phone call. I think that makes a difference for everybody, knowing that they're not so much the information giver, but yet the director in training that gives people the direction to get to the next person or the three-way person or the director himself. So Julie, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking that class, and I'm excited for you, and we'll keep working together.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you for being there. Okay. Okay, so Corey Moran is on the board of directors at Cooler Brands. He's been selected to do that. I'm excited about that. He is an expert in social media. We're beginning to communicate together to help each other, and mostly for me getting help in social media. And I'm excited to have him today as a guest at the Breakfast Club. So Corey, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming on here. I'm looking forward to having you again here at the Breakfast Club, and welcome, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Joe, I'm getting a little feedback. I don't know if you can help me out with that, but I think that worked. There we go. Awesome. So good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, if you're on the Eastern Seaboard here. Joe, you have an amazing show here, and I've been watching them the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 weeks, and it's absolutely incredible with a lot of, a plethora of relevant information for anybody in the industry or outside of the industry, not just in Cooler Brands alone. And I'm a big advocate of, doing about 10 to 15 minutes a day of personal development, and this falls right into that category. So I just want to say thank you for what you're doing and what you're doing, for the industry in itself. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody ready to rock? Maybe learn a thing or three? Cool. So Joe and I were chatting last night, and he asked me a funny question. I guess it wasn't so funny for him, but it was for me, and then I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you, his question was, Joe's in the old school training, and he's a master of it. I consider myself more of a new school, and I'll go into that in more detail in a little bit. But the question he asked was, why use Facebook? Why would people use Facebook? And I got a giggle out of that, and I thought to myself, why wouldn't you use Facebook? To me, it's just mind-blowing, because my train of thought is, there's over 1.71 billion monthly active users on Facebook. It's absolutely mind-blowing how anyone that is in this industry today would not use Facebook, because of the networking avenues and the ability to reach worldwide in just a click of a button. Getting started with Facebook, if you're not on it and you're in this group, we have a wide range of individuals, I'm sure, on this call, and I'm sure, and I know we do in Cooler Brands. So it's really the simplicity of logging onto Facebook.com and creating yourself an account. It's that easy. That's where you get started. As we start to see a paradigm shift in our industry with Cooler Brands, we also start to see a shift in the mindset as well. So it's very important to recognize this. The perception of home-based businesses from the outside looking in as well, from the inside looking out. It's just incredible what's happening. I think once people drop the mindset of the icky, recruiting word that so many people fear, we can now truly look at the sharing, this sharing of, especially in Cooler Brands, with full conviction that this is a place for anyone to earn and make a home for a lifetime. Times have changed so dramatically in how home-based businesses are grown and how they flourish these days. Social media has been the fastest and easiest way to grow your own business in the past decade. But, is this the only way? Is this way of thought? You have the common debate. Is old school recruiting and marketing better, or is new school recruiting marketing better? And that's where Joe and I have come together here in these two worlds colliding, so to speak. Old school meaning, what does old school mean really in the marketing business? In the network business, it means old school is really just belly to belly recruiting and giving out information. And by belly to belly, I mean, quality FaceTime, and not the iPhone FaceTime that we're all used to these days. It's actually meeting up with people. It's actually calling people on the phone. I know this is a new concept for you younger generation out there, but that's the old school way of doing things. And Joe is one of the best at old school recruiting and marketing. And it's more personal and it's highly effective. And that's a fact. New school is more of the technology boom and is the generation that has this generation does have an advantage for sure. With the emergence of Facebook in 2004, everything changed. Everything changed, not only for social networking, but for businesses too. Now you can build your business around the world, like I said, with just a click of a few buttons. From Facebook spawned many other social sites that continue to give marketers a highly effective way of reaching around the world. We have Twitter, we have Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, Google+, YouTube, Tumblr. I could go on for about another 45 minutes, but you guys get my point. Videos, you guys, are the hottest, newest way to brand yourself in the mainstream. It's highly important these days to stay on top of the curve because, as you know, technology changes from day to day. And if you don't keep up, you're bound to get lost and you're bound to drown. And that's not to say to be overwhelmed because there's a lot of information out there, and that drives me to a couple other points that I'm going to make. Here's my opinion on how this is solely my opinion on how I've effectively grown with Cooler Brands in a few short months. It has been a combination mostly of social networking with a sprinkle of the old school. I think it's very important, especially for beginners, giving home-based businesses a try. All you guys out there, if this is new to you, I think it's extremely important to learn the basics of recruiting from the roots, reaching out to old school style and creating strong relationships from the start. I never forget how important it is to reach out and be available by any contact means available. This means, just being available to talk on the phone. I've talked more on the phone with Cooler Brands than I have with any other business that I've been involved with this over the past 8-9 years. And that's been a key component to my success here. I've brought in people around the country and the world, so it's most definitely helped with the new school style in that aspect. Actually, it's the only way I've been able to grow as I have through social media. And that leads me to this point. If you want to grow in your online business, you absolutely must learn the basics of utilizing social media. And I highly recommend also not overwhelming yourself, trying to learn them all at once. Start with Facebook or Twitter, or whatever you feel most speaks to you and your style. Maybe it's a YouTube video, maybe it's mastering YouTube, but master that one social media first. Become an expert at it, and expand what you're doing. Don't overwhelm yourself and try to learn every social media site that's out there. It's not plausible and it's not conducive to what you're going to be doing. It's called network marketing for good reason, you guys. You want to reach as many people as you can to put eyes on your business. Now, I don't mean, randomly start building. Be strategic and think about your target audience, the people that you are already searching for what you have. You have a way to solve a problem, right? So think about what the problem is first. For example, people are looking for a way to not have a boss, or to not work a 9-to-5, spend more time with their kids, more vacations, pay for their kids' schooling, whatever it may be. These could be who your target market is if you're in Cooler Brands, because you have the solution, right? So do you build your network? So how would you build your network of a target audience? Two things you can do in regards to Facebook is build your friends list and put them into a specific group on your friends list to keep it separated from your personal friends. Now, for you beginners, when your Facebook has an algorithm. So once you start friending people on Facebook, it's going to start suggesting people that you may know. You want to kind of build your contact list every day, your networking list. So friend about 5 to 10 people a day. And if you're friending people in the network marketing business, put them in a sub file. And I'll show you guys how to do that with our training. You don't want to you don't want to mix really your personal friends on your Facebook page with your business, because honestly, your personal friends could probably care less about what you're doing in business. You know, there might be a few that are interested, but they don't want to see you posting about your business, you know, multiple times a day. It's just, for one, they become blind to all your advertisements, and for two, they'd rather hear about, you know, your pet Sammy, or you know, your wife and what she, you know, what your last trip was. So you guys get my point there. Second way is creating a fan page or a business page through Facebook. It takes about 5 minutes, and you want to set it up first and have an, you know, you want to have an inviting photo, and you want to have content that people get value from. You can build your fan page or business page by promoting it as well. The most valuable, the more value that you create through motivation, inspiration, you know, posting informative content, the more people will be influenced by you. You build trust, you build relationships. This is not an overnight success plan. I really want to stress this. My success did not happen. I didn't flip the switch, sign up for Cooler Brands, and the next day have hundreds of people. That's not how it worked, and that's not how it will work for you. Anything that happens overnight is not a lasting success. So I just want to be clear there. If you're starting now and you're starting in social media, it's just little steps that you take every day to start building your network. And it's very simple. And, you know, just like Cooler Brands, this process is creating long-term success, taking a few minutes each day to do a few money-making activities that will pay you for a lifetime in more ways than just money. Always remember, also, you guys, when you're posting on your personal Facebook page, or if you're posting for a fan page, remember to post personal pics now and then. You know, yourself, your family, your pets, etc. It's actually showing that you're actually a human, and people will relate to that. People love to see. It's a social network, so people love to see you as a person. You don't want to be a machine, a robot that's pumping out ad after ad after ad every 10 minutes on Facebook. It's just not good Facebook etiquette, and it's going to create advertising blindness, is what they call. People just stop seeing what you're promoting. So just a little tip there: if you want to do posts on Facebook and you're posting on your personal page, I'd keep it to maybe 1 a day. You know, 5 total a week. If you're doing it as your business or on a fan page, you can post, you know, you can create value, post Cooler Brands ads, or whatever business you're in. That's fine. That's the purpose of the business page. But you always want to be growing your network. Very important. Always be growing your network, whether it's inviting friends to like your page, contacting, you know, friends in the network marketing industry, or searching for Facebook groups like How to Make Money Online, inventions, creative ideas, just social networking circles. That's just a huge part of it, you guys. Remember, it's social. It's social media. Be social. Outside of your comfort zone is where it all happens, whether it's the new school or the old. When I started this whole network marketing industry, I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid to approach people, whether it was offline or online, because I wasn't sure of what I was doing, for one, and I wasn't sure of the information that I had. And I learned real quick that the more social I am, the more I interact with people, the more trust I build with them. And that's the key to online Facebook, you know, with Facebook and Twitter and these other social sites, is you have to be a real person. You have to learn the ins and outs of Facebook. And it just takes really, we have our, like Joe mentioned earlier, I started a group inside of our Cooler Brands group called the Influencer Club. And it's a group of, we have about 140 plus people now, and it's people that want to influence others and want to grow the community, and they want to learn at the same time. So we have, you know, professional expert marketers in there. We have novices, beginners to Facebook even, but it's for everybody. And it's people that just want to learn or want to grow as a person and in their business. So we've created a place to do that. And we provide education training on Monday nights. The last 3 webinars that we held were, based around Facebook and Twitter, the basic training of that. So anybody on here that's in Kula Brands is welcome to join us as well. I can definitely go over one last thing I want to say though is speaking about the comfort zone and stepping out of it. That's where my business really started growing, is when I decided to do the things that I was most uncomfortable with, the most things that I most didn't want to do. I turned around and I did them. I just went for it. I took up the attitude that, you got to be hungry. I mean, not like that you could just eat a snack or something hungry. I mean, like starving hungry, like you've been in the desert lost for like 2 weeks. And that's how hungry you have to be. You have to treat your business just like you would treat being starving in the desert. I'm not saying that your business has to rule your life. You have to have balance, but you have to be hungry. And if you want it, you go grab it. So, Joe, I think that's all I had on that. If you wanted me to show some people a quick couple of things, basic things on Facebook, I can do that.
That would be great. I want to ask a couple of questions. I want to tell people, first of all, if you have any questions, probably 2 areas to ask them. Why don't you, I'm watching the screen so I can see any of the questions and feedback. I want to make a couple recommendations before we go. Wendy, I believe that's Wendy Miller, I think. I don't know the last names sometimes. Wendy, would you, when we're done here, when it's convenient, would you call me? My email that I sent out has my phone number on it. So if you could do that, I wanted to speak with you a little bit about something. Number 2, Ken, how are you? And Ken, also give me a call. You have my phone number as well. It's great to see you here. I wanted to talk to you. If you have any questions, put those questions in that box so everybody can see your question, comments or questions. So Corey, here's my question. I always get confused about this, and people I know don't know the rules sometimes. When is it okay? Where is it okay? Business page, fan page, personal page, to actually give someone your link if you want to, and let's use the word loosely, to recruit someone. If you were looking to put some information out, but your main goal in the back of your mind was, hey, I'd love to recruit this, people from this, from these posts. How do I do that? What's legal? What's not legal? What would get you kicked off and where?
That's a great question, Joe. And that's a term we use in the online world. It's called spamming. Spamming is an absolute no-no. Whether you're new or you've been around for a while, there's absolutely no reason to spam somebody. And spamming is defined as this: if you make contact with someone for the first time, and all you do is you go in private message, or you go on their on a post on Facebook and you just throw out your link. That's a no-no. We don't do that. We create relationships first. So as far as recruiting or influencing someone in, you want to have a conversation first, and you want to say, you want to show your excitement, and you want to say, hey, listen, I'm extremely excited. I've been in this industry for a while, or I'm new at this, and I've never seen something like this. It's absolutely incredible. Would you like to take a look? Engage them. Ask them if they want to see it. You're almost asking permission for you to give them your website link. So it's part of Facebook etiquette. It's part of online etiquette. Put it this way: if you were to meet somebody on the street randomly and you wanted to talk to them about your business, would you just go up to them and say your website link? Nope. You would say, hey, how's it going, Fred? What you been up to? How are the kids? Or if you don't know them, hey, most of the times they'll approach you, but get to know them, break the ice a little bit, and then show them your excitement, and then lead them to the webinar. So that's basically the etiquette there, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, perfect. Any other questions on here? And Ken, yeah, give me a call. Let me tell you something about Ken. I haven't talked to Ken for a while. We're friends in networking, and because of the tool that we use, which is a contact manager autoresponder, he continues to get letters that are in when he filled out and originally looked at, and that's why he's asking those questions there. Because we've stayed in contact, at least in that way. I believe in that constant contact, and that's what we do with our marketing tool. In fact, that's why Julie called me to find out what we were doing. And anyway, that's good. I'm glad that you're here, Ken, and I will see you this afternoon. So any other question in there? I don't see any questions yet, but it does take them 20 to 30 seconds to hear what we're saying, so there's a little delay.
Cool. Also, I also wanted to say, Joe, is for people, you don't have to wait for our IC group webinars. It's on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I think I saw a question in there about that, but that's when it is. But certainly, this day and age with Google and Google search and YouTube videos, if you have a question at any time about how to with Facebook or any other social media site, just search Google, and videos will pop up. And if you search something like, let's say, how do I create a fan page, or how do I tag somebody on Facebook? If you have any questions like that, or you just want to learn Facebook, the basics, just get started there. Be proactive and, take 5-10 minutes a day, each day, and learn something new about Facebook. That's one of the best ways that I've learned. And certainly join us on Monday nights as well if you want to get more in depth with that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I've learned, over the last 6 years that Google is a great place to get. I don't ask too many questions now of people outside my knowledge. I just go to Google and I type in a question, and you're going to find the answers, everything you could possibly need. So recently, Corey, I decided to find out on the web, on the internet, who had the best training that I could plug into at any time to see basic training on Facebook. And I did find someone. I'm not going to announce what it is yet until I've completed these videos. It's going to take me another few days to get through and this woman who's teaching this is just basic stuff I can understand as a newbie.
Yes.
To that, and so I'm excited about that. And when I get through it, if I feel it's valuable, I'm going to share that and let everybody see that. The other thing I shared with Corey last night was I created an email for sales, and basically I created it for the future. For Zip & Store, something we haven't talked about today, which is our first product that we have in the first project at Cooler Brands. And so I created an email that I'm going to either put in an autoresponder or be sending it every 3 or 4 days to people I know in my personal life who will not join me in any of my ventures, but they're going to know about this product. This is the first time, Corey, in my 22 years of networking that I will really be promoting the products as well as looking for people who want to manage a business from home. That I'll be looking at both, and I normally never did that. So this one, like I said, I created an email for Zip & Store to introduce everybody to Zip & Store. And I think I sent it to you last night, Corey, and it's something we'll be able to adjust in the future. And as soon as we get that up and running, as far as being able to have a product in our back office, what I expect is to be able to send people to my store and let them look at Zip & Store and purchase it right from my back office, from my website, so that number one, you get commission, number two, you get royalty points. And so I'm going to definitely be promoting that and teaching people how to use an email like that effectively, and also using it. I'm assuming you can do that on Facebook, right?
Absolutely.
We could adjust that email to Facebook.
Absolutely, Joe. And I wanted to show, well, first of all, there's a question. You can attend the Monday nights IC Club webinar. I have it posted in our IC Facebook group. So again, if you want to become a part of it and you're in Kula Brands, you can either email me at Corey@kulabrands.com, or friend request me on Facebook. It's Corey Philip Moran, Philip with 1 L. Or just friend somebody else that's in the group, and then we can bring you in. If somebody is in here handy that can post the link to the group, please go ahead and do that, and you can just follow that link. And so that's where we post the webinar info for each Monday night.
And that's Bob, Corey. He's in my group as well. So
okay.
Bob, you can get to me with that, or just follow Corey's instructions there. Yeah. And I'll introduce you to Corey as well. So Bob is also been a long-time networker who, by the way, has actually gone through my class. If you have time, Bob, you can comment on that as well. I know he's taken that a few times, I believe, and is an advocate of that as well. And he's another one like Julie, who's been in the industry a long time, who's been in private business life, and it was very, very excited about our class. So Bob, yeah, just get to Corey or get to me, and we'll make that happen for you.
Cool. And I just want to show you guys one quick tip on Facebook, and then we'll let you guys out of here. So
when they see that, when Corey shares his screen here, please type in there that some people, all of you, whatever, that you actually see the screen. We just got to monitor that and make sure. Yeah, there's Bob, the communication class. Yep, I see the screen, Corey. It's going to take a minute for everybody else to see it, but please make a comment that we see it.
Okay, great. I'll hold off to make sure they can see it.
Yep, we see it. We're good to go.
All right, cool. So you guys, this is a very simple way of searching on Facebook to, if you're in Kula Brands and you want to, see what's going on in the Zip and Store product world, just in this search bar up top, just type in what you want to search. So I'm going to show you guys Zip and Store. So I type that in. You can also search by hashtags, and I'll go over that in just a second. But for now, I would type in Zip and Store, right? So you can scroll through here, and it has every single, anytime somebody mentions Zip and Store in their description or in their post, it's going to show it here. So you can actually go through there and see what people are saying about Zip and Store. This one here is incredible. Slapdash Mom. This woman has nothing to do with Kula Brands or Zip and Store. And she's one of the many, but she's a blogger, and she's a pretty well-known blogger. She's got, look here, she's got over 28,000 likes for her page. And she saw what was going on with Zip and Store, and she decided to blog about it. And she wrote, she even included the direct link to Kickstarter, which is right here, and her website page right here. But look at this, guys. Over 20,000 views just on this woman's blog, who's not a part of Kula Brands. Over 323 shares, 233 people talking about it. And it goes on and on. This GI Gadgets, not a part of Kula Brands. We have posts from Russia, the Philippines, Mexico. It's just apples. That's just something I just wanted to show you guys. If you're a part of Kula Brands, try that out. Search and go through there and comment and like on these. So look, just give it a like. Give this one. I'm going to give it a love. So you have these options on here where you can, you just hover over it, and then you have these engagements. You can say, wow. By doing this, by liking and commenting on all these posts, you're helping get Zip and Store in front of a lot more eyes. So it'll pop up on your friends' news feeds. It'll be on high priority on top of the regular news feed. So that's why it's also known as juicing in the online world. So juicing actually means to comment and like and engage on certain posts to get them more activity and more exposure inside Facebook. So also, you guys, I want to point this out, and Peter went over this. You guys got to be compliant with Facebook etiquette and keeping Kickstarter and Kula Brands separate in separate conversations. So if you're going on say the Zippin Store on this person's or this person's Zippin Store post that they have nothing to do with Cooler Brands, you can go in and engage with people, ask questions, answer questions, create some relationships with these people. That could eventually lead down the road to Cooler Brands, but you want to be talking about the product. These people are product driven. They only care about the product. They don't care about building a business. So that's very important. I just wanted to cover that really quick. Also, I wanted to show you guys the power of the hashtag. So in our group, the Influencer Club, we have created a hashtag specifically for us and when we post. So if you type in, our hashtag is ICCoola, hit enter. Now any post that anybody in our group that has posted with the hashtag, you see ICCoola here. So the hashtags are just a way of searching. People that are into Tupperware, people that want to be organized. I mean, it's just getting creative with hashtags is really what it is. You can put hashtag inventions, hashtag cool kitchen gadgets, but it's just an easy way to search, and it's a simple.
So Corey, let me ask a question while we're on there. Go back to that where the hashtags were. How did the hashtag Tupperware get there where it is right now?
Okay, so Heidi Byram is one of our Cooler Brands members, and she's part of the ICCoola group.
Yep.
So she's thinking outside the box is what she's doing. She's reaching anybody that's a fan of Tupperware. So so on her post, she typed in hashtag Tupperware. So now anybody that's a fan of Tupperware, and I don't know if she spelled that right. I think it's Tupperware, but
it's Tupper, but that's okay.
That's okay. But she'll reach the people that don't spell Tupperware right. That's for sure. Love you, Heidi. And so, but that's the general idea there. And it's, you know, I joked about it with Len Kinsey, the creator of Zippin Store, last night. I was telling him on our call that we should hashtag OCD. So it's about thinking outside the box, and it's not a bad idea, I think, to hashtag OCD. I might do that next. But yeah, that's the simple, the simple basic Facebook hashtag rule. And you can do this inside of Twitter. You can do it inside of Google+. I think it works for most social media site search engines to find what you're looking for. And this is how the general public that's familiar with Facebook searches for things. So it's a great way to do it.
I saw an ad on TV a couple days ago about the percentage of food thrown away, and guess what it gave? I mean, I don't know where they did their research, but I am assuming that what they're talking about, because they gave a close to 40%. Now, I'm assuming that the 40% of what went in the refrigerator is what they're talking about. The 14% of all the food you buy, 14% is gone. That's what I'm assuming it is. But when I saw that 40%, I went, wow. So 4 out of 10 things that you wrap and put in the refrigerator or put in a container or store it is thrown away. So I'm pretty sure that's what they meant. But it's I forget what commercial it was, actually. That caught my attention at the percentage, and then I was overwhelmed with the number, and I guess I didn't pay attention or commit it to memory. But why don't we do this before we go? For the new people that are on here that don't really know about, let me give a quick overview of Cooler Brands, and Corey, jump in at any time here. But and I want to just talk about basically, you know, our first project, Zippin Store, and how it got here and what the progress is so far. So I'll just cover briefly. The Cooler Brands is a company that actually has what we call community members. And these community members help support either new inventions or inventions that have never gotten to the marketplace. And we as a community decide. We decide because the corporate will say, hey, we have a good project. Well, our first one was this Zippin Store, and say, we have this. How many of you would actually like this product, and would you fund it? Would you help, crowdfund this and get this off the ground with this inventor? And on Cooler Brands, on our particular site, we would pre-pledge for that. Pre-pledging means that you basically promised that when we hit our target, and they'll put up a number. In this case, it was $20,000. And when we hit 20,000, we knew we could take this to Kickstarter and put it on Kickstarter to see what the world would do with this project. So I'll leave it there, Corey. So we have about 1,200 members that actually introduced this to the marketplace by pre-pledging, which means you don't pay anything at that point. You're just making a promise that when it gets to Kickstarter or one of the crowdfunding sites, that we would go ahead and pledge over there and actually pre-buy the product. So Corey, why don't you pick up from there or add to that if you like, and this happened from day one to where we sit right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely, like Joe said, this is absolutely mind-blowing from where we have been from day one. We had high expectations for this first product, and I don't think anybody could have foreseen what has happened so far. And we have another 10, 11 days left with the Zip and Store campaign. And it's, you know, it is one thing, you know, to earn a lifetime of residuals on the best income on the planet is, you know, royalty-based income. For doing one-time actions and getting paid over and over and over again for life on that. And, you know, it's one thing to be earning that income, that incredible income, but it's another thing to actually grasp what this is doing for so many lives, not only from the inventor, Len Kinsey, absolutely making his dreams come true. As a boy, he dreamed of this moment. But if you think about that dream changing his life, what you, each and every one of you has done so far, your efforts has changed his life. And think about it the other way around. Think about all the lives that Len is changing through his invention. Think about how many Cooler Brands members' lives are being changed by earning on you know, a percentage of the royalties on his product. And think a little bit more outside the box. Think of how many jobs this is going to create. Shipping out of the United States, how many jobs is that going to create to be able to fulfill these orders? It could create more jobs for the refrigeration industry. You know, think further. Think how many the distributors that are in Australia or the Philippines or Russia. Think about that. So it's not just about the money here. It's really, on a whole, it's about changing lives. And the exposure and the massive growth that we've had in you know, what, 5 short months has been absolutely mind-blowing. And personally, and I know most of all of you, if not all of you out there, are I guess I would say grateful would be the best word to say, that we finally found and have been brought something that is real, and we can make a difference in so many people's lives. And we're already proving it already with our first product, and that the concept and the phases that it goes through, that it works. It actually, this system, this whole company, it works, and we're proving that. And so congratulations to all you guys, and to Len and to Peter and Doug and Jan and the whole Cooler Brands family. Grateful, you guys. And that's, I think that's for me, I get speechless after a while, because it's just incredible.
Now, it blows my mind how much we now have on Kickstarter. It started out we needed to reach the 20,000, which we did the first day. And now, where are we now, Corey?
We're almost pushing at 120,000.
120. Imagine the excitement, not only for us, but for Len, who is, you know, this is a dream come true for him to see this happen. And, you know, we can all thank Peter Gantner for this idea coming into his mind and putting it on paper and getting excited about it, and bringing people like Corey and Doug and Jan into the picture. And then, of course, you know, so we'll say this for the people that are new that don't know this, is that, you know, the founder, co-founder, and CEO of Priceline.com, who's on our board of directors helping direct our company to success. So with that, I will say this, Corey, thank you so much for being here. And Julie, thank you as well. Corey, I am so excited about learning this. I learned something today. Before everybody goes, why don't you put in the chat over there that, did you learn something today? I know I did. And I could go over 5 things I learned that I did not know prior to this. And I'm learning as I go along. And but I really, really appreciate the excitement that you bring to this, the education, the expertise that you bring to this to help people get the word out, about not just Zip and Store, but Kula Brands and changing people's lives. So thanks a million for being here, and actually stay on the call when I close this down and say goodbye. So why don't you say goodbye to everyone here? And I want to thank all of you, especially for being here. And remember that you have a replay button that comes up after this. It goes on to YouTube. And share it with your friends who are not in Kula Brands yet and don't know about it. And maybe, they can learn a little bit, because they're going to learn how to utilize social media with Corey's teachings throughout the next year or 2. But Corey, thanks again for being here. Any final words from you?
Oh man, thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine, and I am absolutely humbled, and I'm absolutely grateful to be where I am and to have some of the best people in the world by my side. And we are one big community in Kula Brands. And thank you all very much. I love you all, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week at the Breakfast Club. And it's every Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern. And we'll look forward to seeing you there. And have a great day, everybody. Thank you for being here.